Everybody's going mad about Squid Game right now. It's all over the internet. People need to calm down, to be honest. But it's a good show. It's a good show. Some of us have watched it. Not everyone has watched it.
Haven't watched it.
You haven't watched it. But I'll give you the very basic premise. People need money and doing crazy shit for money.
What
Like in real life?
Like in real life. You know, people are doing mad stuff for money. Like these people are in debt, right?
Yeah.
People are in like crazy debt.
That guy was getting slapped up.
People getting slapped up for money. These people will sell their organs for money, basically. And you know, it's a bit on the nose with the type of characters. Well, it's not necessarily on the nose, but you get different people from a different walk of life being told to play kids games for money and also for survival. And the games are very simple, like, you know, red, yellow, red light, green light. Watch the show. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. So what I want to talk about today is basically other anime or manga that are similar to this sort of idea where it's like, it's not necessarily life. Actually, maybe someone's life or death. Not life or death in the case of like you're going to die, but like your entire like life is going to be changed based on this very simple game, like a card game or a gambling thing. Mm-hmm. And it's just very, very high stakes. And like how people cope with those situations, like this desperate people cope in that situation. I want to mention one called Kakeguri. I think it's on Netflix, but it's basically about this school, and the school is basically like it's anime obviously, and the school is basically like a school where like rich people will send their kids to. So people that high power politicians, business owners, so on and so forth, they send their kids there to basically like be the top of their game when they leave. Unfortunately, like many things in anime and manga, it's fucked up. So what happens is like people basically, there's a hierarchy system, not based on wealth, not based on like power or whatever. It's based on how well you can gamble. Right. So, for example, the main character is this girl and she's mad. And she's like addicted to gambling, like anime manga style, addicted to like gambling, like frothing at the mouth style nonsense. Right. And, you know, it's also not really about like playing a good game. Like it's not about like fairly playing a good game. It's like playing a game and cheating and also being able to win without anyone telling that you're cheating, if that makes sense. You know, like you might be playing a card game with someone, right? But you're cheating to make sure that you always win, because at the end of the day it's gambling, right? It's luck. And it's the first season I quite enjoyed. Second season I'm not completely sure yet. First season I quite enjoyed because it's like it's quite clever, because you're almost trying to figure out how the other person is tricking you. Like they're winning like a game that should be 50-50 split, but for some reason they're winning every single game. And it's like, how are they winning every single game? So the main character is like figuring out, she always figures out basically how she's losing or how the game works, whatever. And if you win, you can bet whatever you want. You can bet things like you'll be my slave for like the semester, whatever, you know. And the more games you lose, the less power you have within the school. And that's the one I know of anyway. Anyone know of any others?
The most popular one ever.
I'm sure you continue.
Yes. No, you want to...
I'm sure basically there was a manga that I used to read, and I'm trying to find it now.
The one with the sharp nose. The one with the sharp nose. The drawings with the sharp noses.
I don't think so.
Wow, shut up.
It was kind of like, if I remember, the premise was they're in a school, and as you, it's like sort of like a battle royale thing, but they're in school and they have to do certain games, or they don't, or they will die. And it's like these Russian dolls. No, it's not that. There's these Russian dolls, but the Japanese version of them. You know, when I find, let me just stop speaking. I'm gonna find the manga and then I'll.
Well, there's one that I saw on Netflix as well. My little brother actually told me about it. At first I thought it was trash, but then I started watching it and I was like, oh, actually.
What's this one?
It's called Darwin's Game.
I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it.
Okay, can't spoil it. But the premise is essentially anybody can play this game. You have to download the app to play it.
Okay.
Right? For some reason, once you download this app, it becomes real life. Something comes out the phone, bites you in the neck, and now you have powers.
Okay.
Right? And you can use these powers, but it's almost like once you're challenged, you have to fight.
Okay.
And it's a fight to the death.
Okay. And fight how?
like an actual fight. Like, you know, anime style, I'm gonna like kill you type fight.
Okay.
Literally. And somebody does die. Right? The story is really interesting, but you don't find out much of the story until much later on. Where somebody actually created this game and he's just like, I actually want somebody to kill me, but blah, blah, blah. But then you find out that this guy is just as twisted as everything he says anyway. So it's just really messed up. But that is essentially the premise of this anime. You are a normal person in life, we're sitting down, going to our phone, somebody has sent us a request to join this game. It's like, what type of stupid game is this?
And once you press it,
click on it, some weird snake thing comes out, bites you in the neck and gives you powers that is somehow relevant to some sort of mythological something. And you're now able to do stuff that you were never able to do before.
Okay.
But you're given those powers to kill only.
Okay. It's weird.
You win money.
You win money.
You win money once you beat like certain challenges. So there's like these weird events that pop up, like global events, and you get teleported to certain places. And it's like whoever created this app has the ability somehow to tell people to go back to their house. So people who don't have this game are not involved and don't get hurt.
Okay.
So only the people that have this game are the only ones involved in certain events. And in these events, you win money. It's different sorts of games that come on. So like one of them, for example, it was like a treasure hunt type of thing where you had to go around and you had to find certain gems. And each gem had a code on it. Those codes represented a certain amount of points. You had to have a certain amount of points to go to the next round. If you didn't have those points, well, you're dead, basically.
Okay.
Jarvis game.
I think Assassination Classroom was that type as well, where
I don't know if it is.
It's more of a battle one though, but
I think it's more
does
battle
have
manga.
that element of there's rules around how you have to fight the next opponent or whatever. Same with there was another one I was thinking of. I've had them in my mind. Remember Gantz is also like that.
Well, Gantz is very battle though.
But it's battle. You just have to,
Yeah, we're talking about ones where you don't have to fight. You can't fight at all. The fighting isn't in it at all.
No one's even thought about like one of the more famous ones.
Like Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Don't the things fight?
They don't really fight.
No, they don't fight.
They don't really fight. They just play a card and then something happens and they piss off.
There's card captors and
no. Wait. What card captors what? Card captors Sakura they fought though.
Bro,
the
if
people
that's the
fight.
case,
Yeah, they fought in card captors Sakura.
Oh yeah, they inherited the
Yeah, they fought in card captors Sakura. Yeah, we're talking the ones where basically like there's no fighting at all.
But yeah,
if that's the case, bro, I'll throw out another one, Beyblade.
Yeah, Beyblade.
Yes.
Beyblade is that. Oh my lord!
Do you know how ridiculous that dub is now?
Bro, I tried to go back
When they
and
were
watch
ripping it
it.
with, when the man used to rip his Beyblade upside down to give him more talk.
What was his name?
Tyson.
Oh my lord!
Oh, yeah, he was a left-handed Beyblade.
No, wait. Oh,
Jesus Christ.
you know what it reminds me of? You know when the early days of like your power systems and you just try and go for
The most basic of basic power systems.
And then it gets to a point where it's just so overpowered.
Wait, didn't he started off with a normal like ripcord thing and it didn't work, so then he made it extremely long and then did like a stupid run up and jumped into the air and then spat it.
Yeah, I
Anyway, yeah, the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff are a bit like mad, to be honest. And what else? Isn't there another card one that isn't Yu-Gi-Oh? Because there's another one that not people that I'm surprised. I thought you were going to say this one actually. Funny enough.
Shobu
Was Kaiji actually funny enough? Kaiji is the one with the sharp nose. They're the ones
the gambling one.
Kaiji is probably the closest to Squid Game that I can ever think of.
Oh, because if you lose, you
die.
Something.
Yeah, you die because they had things like basically like walking the tightrope, for example. But then you fall into a pit of lions if you don't stay. Like Kaiji is basically Squid Game.
So no one. Oh, okay, wait.
Like Kaiji is basically Squid Game. Like Kaiji is a story about a man who he's in debt and needs money, and these people come and say, we'll give you, and they do something similar to entice him in as well. Something happens and they give him some money, and he comes to this thing, and he finds out it's fucked up, but he can't leave. This one in Squid Game said, okay, you guys can leave, you want to leave, so you can't leave. And basically all they do is there's this man, this old man, and he's running to everything else, and he just looks at them all like they're just dirt. Like all of them are just dirt. And then his like right hand man is this man who goes and then brings all these people in. And that's the random things like basically like a card game where, a card game that had like 3, rock, paper, scissors. Mm-hmm. But they do it with that. But you don't have a certain amount of rock, paper, scissors cards. So if you like use up all your paper cards, you can't use paper anymore. So it's like a mind game type thing. And the losers, they die. Right. And Kaiju is very, very similar to Squid Game.
What would you call? Where would you put definite then? Because
it's more
a psychological. Battle.
It is. But then would you class that as a battle manga though? Because it's not a.
Well, it says non-battle.
Do you think?
Yeah, it's the rivalry between.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I think the battle manga needs like an opponent almost.
The guy flips off his chair, bro.
So then what is Battle Royale?
That's a battle manga, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's in the name.
Yeah, but that's a battle manga. This is a flat battle manga, isn't
I know
it?
Food Wars is probably that.
Food Wars is actually probably not battle manga as well.
I actually hate that.
I don't know.
I think so.
No, I'm saying the terms. I'm still kind of getting grips.
It's basically like it's me versus you, but we don't fight.
Well, they make it seem like.
But they make it seem like you're fighting.
Yeah. So think of a difference. Try and compare and contrast Food Wars and Toriko. One's a battle manga.
Yeah.
One's not.
About the same thing.
Similar.
They're very similar
things about food.
Mm.
I can't stand Food Wars. That actually irritates my soul. All of that being said, I've learned some certain dishes and I'm like,
this guy. I mean, the only thing about there are probably quite a lot of them, but I can't think of like loads because I don't really I'm only drawn to them more because the thing is, Death Note I was a bit like, because I felt like it's more like a thriller than a battle manga, to be honest. Because you're not really Bakuman.
That's the manga about manga.
Oh, kind of.
That's the rivalry between the two guys.
Would you say is Naruto a battle manga then?
Yeah.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
okay, cool, fine.
100%.
Because there's a lot of like, they always have like tournaments. I think any manga that has tournaments is a battle manga.
But it's usually about these ninja,
because that's why I was like, is Death Note really? Because Death Note is basically like, it's like a thriller. Right, it's about one guy. I mean, to be honest, like how many men does he go against? Whereas, like to me, a battle manga is like very many occurrences of one person versus another person. That person's skills versus another person's skills. That person gets powered up in some way, learns new stuff, goes back and does it again. Like there's a power system. Even to like Food Wars, there's a power system. There's a guy who pretends to be other people to mimic their cooking. How dumb is that? That's what I'm talking about. That's the battle manga type of shit, which is why I'm thinking Death Note, I'm not sure meets the cut.
So all of these sports ones, Slam Dunk.
All the sports ones. Well, Slam Dunk, I don't know. That's a sports manga, full stop, isn't it? Is there a battle manga, you think?
But it's the same premise, though.
It's essentially the same.
I think Blue Lock
it's non-battle. You're not exactly fighting.
Galactic football.
You have to win.
Okay, but if you compare
somebody.
Slam Dunk to that, and not Blue Lock. There's a different football one.
Captain
Oh Lord, Inazuma thing.
That one.
God.
That one is a battle manga.
That was trash.
That one is about. That's the one. They all have special kicks. All of them.
That's Galactic football, then, isn't it?
It's like Galactic football. It's just
like that.
When they got their different.
Because I think there's a difference between sports manga and battle manga, though.
Yeah, but what you describe, battle manga that's not battle manga is not an actual genre.
And it's annoying.
No, it's not. But they still they call them. What do they call them?
Non-battle battle manga.
Did they actually what they called them?
Non-battle battle manga. NBB.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being too strict with it. Because in my head I'm thinking like.
I'm trying to think of some more that.
Because sports manga is always going to be one versus a team, isn't it? So.
Airblade.
Because even like iShield 21, is iShield 21 a battle manga? I would say no. I would say it's a sports manga.
No, it is a sports manga.
Yeah. I wouldn't. iShield 21, the one with the guy with the visor and he runs fast.
Well, that's a good example.
Really? I wouldn't call that a battle manga for a strange thing.
It's non-battle.
Non-battle.
Actually, maybe because they have skills. That's why.
Is it okay? The genres can cross. Are we saying that the genres can cross?
It's like a cross between the genres. So it's like you have the premise of it, they're not fighting. But while you're reading it, you feel like
they're fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I should probably count.
Is a battle manga
Technically, kind of.
just
but-
because they're physically hitting each other, even
Yes,
though they really are outsmarting each other.
Yeah.
Okay, and then ISO 21 is not because they don't. The sport doesn't require them
any
to fight each other.
violence. Yes. But they're fighting each other.
Yeah.
Essentially.
They're in combat with each other without actual physical combat.
So, Airblade.
What's Airblade? Airblade. But didn't they fight in Airblade?
They don't
You're thinking
fight.
about
I think of Air Gear. My
Air
bad.
Gear, sorry. I said Airblade.
You said
Isn't
Airblade.
it-
I don't know. Yeah. Air Gear, they fight
Air
each
Gear.
other.
Do they fight?
They rode a blade.
They rode a
There was a guy who got a guy in a headlock and strangled him while using his air gear to suspend himself in the air.
The thing that manga didn't make any sense.
It didn't make any
You're
freaking
reading and
sense.
you're just like, is this actually happening or is this in their mind? Or
No,
are they
it-
actually rollerblading?
But they
or
were actually
nothing?
fighting though.
And are people
Wow, okay.
really...
Because I watched it. They actually put it out.
Oh,
as an
if you
anime.
read the manga,
I
the
never
wings
read
started coming out from
From the
shoes.
shoe, yeah,
Bro.
It went, at first it was like really out
Wait, did I watch it?
out
I don't even
of
remember
life
any
physics. But you could almost explain some of the stuff they've done with physics. If the powers, they said the powers in these
things were
were really really powerful, so you could do crazy stuff, right? And you're like, oh, okay, fine. Maybe if someone with the right skill level and some kind of air resistant skin can probably pull up stuff. And then it starts getting mad, and wings start growing after the shoes, and they started stopping vehicles with the force of the Then I was like, this thing is mad. But they did actually fight each other. Punches were thrown and shit.
I didn't clock.
Yeah,
I actually did clock.
it's quite a hard one to actually find a lot of because there are loads of them, but
It's like, do we really go out of our way to find MBB mangas?
no, we don't. We just says like if it's good, you just
So if it's good and it gets popular.
if it's
you
good,
just
then
pick it up.
then you come. Like I don't know if there's any particular one that we're reading right now. Like, what's a current one that any of us are reading? I don't know if I'm reading any.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I thought Tokyo Revengers was going down that route, but it's not.
Nah,
It's
they
about-
fight. They fight.
It's fun, but it's not. It's
At
not
first, it didn't seem that way. But
Yeah, it didn't. But
yeah.
it's about a manga.
Yeah.
Maybe Dr. Stone, but it has battle in it.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, they
Dr.
fight
Stone's
though.
bad.
Yeah, they fight though.